Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' generosity and your support. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. And if you're actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, if you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, while the anniversary is starting to wind down, looking forward to what's going to be coming up next. I have a feeling we're going to start getting info real soon. But for now, I wanted to talk about some stuff because with this anniversary, with the whole live stream and everything, you know, as much as they could, like, I love this anniversary. The story, the costumes, the actual characters, everything's great. You know, despite problems with Cinderella, even though they didn't botch it, so that's great. Solo raid problems, you know, outside of that, it was perfect. But at the same time, outside of the anniversary, there really wasn't much changes, unfortunately. And that sucks because I really wanted to see a good bit of quality of life stuff. I was expecting at least to see some treasures. I'm surprised we didn't get that because I feel like this would be the best time to drop them. So maybe we'll see them during the winter event in the future. Who knows? But I wanted to talk about some stuff because it feels like Shift Up just kind of started like abandoning a few things that Nikke has had. And this is like something I've covered before, but now, more so now, with the idea that we're getting alts for, you know, liberation characters. And before we even get to any content, I want to talk about the cosmetic side of things. Because we know that, you know, Shift Up has, you know, the anniversary passes, the event passes, the normal mission passes right now. But then they also have a costume shop that a lot of people like kind of forget about. And obviously, you know, when it comes to costumes, I feel like costumes to me, you know, you buy with whatever you want, but at least with gacha skins or mission passes or event passes, it's a bundle. So what you're paying for comes with other goodies, comes with other stuff for your account. It's not just the costume by itself. And this is interesting because when Nikke first came out, I believe their first costume was for Helm's dress, which is a costume I regret not getting. But at the time, I didn't really want to spend $20 on an outfit just solely for the outfit without getting pulls, any extra like material. That being said, you can see I already bought one, so you know that kind of flew out the window a long time ago. But I'm also pretty much like a baby whale, so you can't really, you know, fault me for that. But I know for most people, especially like low spenders, the costume shop is not worth it by any means. It's purely cosmetics, it's optional. But it's interesting because at first they actually released a good bit of skins. I remember during the first winter event that we had with Rupi and Anne, we got a good bit of costumes, and that's why we see Exia's costume here, and we see one for Maiden here. Obviously, Maiden has a really good one now with Summer, and we got another mission pass for Exia that looks really great. But there have been some other additions that they've added here, and, you know, some costumes like Senti's costume looks really great. You know, Midnight Stealth Sakura looks good, and I've always wanted it, but now because of Summer, I really don't feel like I need it. And then Privity with like her billion skins. But as you can see, the best and latest skin that we've gotten for the shop is for Masked. And for Masked, this came out, I don't think it came out during summer. I have a feeling that it came out, I think, a bit before Nier. So I think it was during the second summer event for Nikke, which was when I think Summer Anise and Summer Helm came out the first time. So this was pretty much more than a year ago that the last skin was added to the costume shop. Do I think that it's kind of a good thing that they stopped posting them here? Yes, question mark. I feel like we got to talk about something that's kind of important. That's FOMO, and that's like in every gacha game when it comes to cosmetics. Now, Nikke has been good with FOMO when it comes to the important lore stuff, especially with their whole archive function. A lot of people can experience lore, but for a lot of people who like seeing these cosmetics, you know, especially with gacha skins, they never tend to get reran. The only time a gacha skin ever got reran was with Bunny Rupee, and that was because they added the burst animations. That was the one exception for that, and mission passes have yet to come back. Now, do I wish they came back? Of course. Even as someone who buys them, I personally don't care about FOMO, like in terms of like, oh, if I already got it, then nobody else should have it. I don't believe in that. I just don't care. It's just, at the end of the day, it's a digital cosmetic, dude. I don't care. So I wish they added them back into the shop. Obviously, they'd be full price and you wouldn't get anything, but still, giving you the option to be able to get those skins back would be really, really cool. So it's kind of a shame that this shop is just kind of like on a weird hiatus. And then we have to talk about our favorite thing that's never gonna happen. And I'm just gonna be real here. It's never gonna happen. and that's in the PvP. It's probably gonna just be for like the Omega whales, so it's like it really doesn't matter. But it's just so funny to me that they still continue to just not have this happen, and that's Champion Arena. This has been locked since day one of Nikke. That's been here since launch. I don't understand why Nikke just doesn't disable this. I don't know why ShiftUp decides to just keep this here and just let them know like, oh yeah, we delayed this again. They could just get rid of this button since launch and just not have it here and just bring it back when it's ready. It's not hard. And it's so funny that they announced, like, during Anomaly Interception, they also announced Champions Arena, if I recall. And we got, you know, we actually got Anomaly, but for some reason, Champions Arena is just like impossible to come out. It's like an urban legend at this point, and I find that ridiculously funny because even like during the dev notes when they talked about what's coming next, you know, for the Annie, they just skipped the part that like had like, oh yeah, Champions Arena's delayed. They never even mentioned, they just like ignored it. Yet we got the currency exchange system, so it's just kind of funny that it's like, all right, well that worked out. I don't know when we're gonna see Champion Arena, who knows, maybe the new year we'll see it. But it is what it is. But the last thing I wanted to touch on that I feel like is kind of a big question mark right now for a lot of people, especially for people who've invested, is Liberation. Because we have been getting a ton of stuff, and it's been kind of inconsistent with what we've been getting in terms of character cosmetics and characters. Now, it's kind of an understatement to say that the Liberation kits, for how much effort it takes to unlock them, it's not worth it, especially for Nihilister. So when we got a skin during our recent summer event, when we actually ended up getting a skin for Guilty, I was actually surprised, just because they actually finally gave some Liberation characters attention just to also be part of a full-blown, you know, voiced summer event. So that was pretty damn huge. And I love how Guilty looks. Like, I don't use her at all, but like, she looked phenomenal. Like, I had to buy this skin. The Watermelon Pass, dude, it looks too good. I loved it a lot. You know, the assets, the thighs, the booba, it looks great. The feet, all perfect. So it's interesting that they gave her a skin specifically. So it makes me feel like she's not getting an alt version, which, in fairness, for all of the Liberation characters, her kit is still fine. I think if you're going to get anybody for meta-wise, I think Guilty's the only one to go for. Nihilister really lost her place, especially with Grave and Crown. There's no point in having her outside of the waifu aspect. And the waifu aspect is really important to touch on because if you guys forgot, you know, this is how she looks. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely looks crazy. She looks too good. The amount of booba is crazy, and I love how she looks. I love redheads, so, you know, it's a real shame because I love how crazy she looks. It's so damn good. It's such a shame that she's so mid, and the worst part is how much investment it takes for these characters. Like, when we break it down, when we go to the Union shop, when we actually, like, look at, you know, how much it costs to buy dupes of the characters, it is so much, because if you think about it, you'll probably get maybe 6k, 7k from a Union, especially if you're not in the top. So every Union raid, you'll get like 6 to 7k, maybe less if you're on like a, you know, more of a beginner Union. You'll need to do at least like 2 or 3 just to get one copy of a spare body. And that's just talking about the normal Liberation. But when we're talking about the actual, like, you know, Pilgrim or the Heretic, it's 20,000. And that's insane. That's a lot. So it's kind of like a weird idea that ShiftUp has decided to do, which I think is great just because now we can finally get, you know, these characters that look great. We can get another version of them. But at the same time, I feel bad for people who have invested into, like, let's say Quincy, because now, in my opinion, we got a way better Quincy in general. I think she looks phenomenal here. I think her kit's amazing for what it is. It looks so damn good, and I love her. So I wonder if we're going to get a Sin alt soon. I don't know how it would work. I'm hoping Nihilister maybe gets a treasure instead, because to get an alt version of Nihilister would be absolutely crazy, and I know a lot of people would be pissed because of the amount of investment. Now, they chose to do that, so it's kind of like a weird, like, you know, double-edged sword. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. You know, which do you actually want to see continue to be updated? You know, Liberation sounds like a good idea, but I feel like it's too much effort for them to want to, like, continue it, honestly. I feel like they just kind of gave up on it, and they're just, like, trying to ignore it, which is a shame, because the idea of it is really good, especially for new players, to get more SSRs. But at the same time, their execution, how long it took, is really terrible. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I just wanted to talk about a few things just because I find it funny that There are some things that you can find in this game that kind of have like a bunch of cobwebs. But for now, that's going to be it for me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. You guys are truly the best. Take care.